Hello, welcome to Non-Inkables. I will be doing a video eventually about my second set championship experience. It was totally different from the first one. Obviously did not win another play mat. As you can see, we have just the one displayed. And my husband actually bought it. He said once I got into semifinals, so once I beat the mirror match of quarterfinals. And I was like, wow, that's... thank you for having so much faith in me, because I did not think that I was going to make it to finals or really top 8, much less win. So there have been a bazillion new cards released in this set for Ursula's return. And I feel like the only way for me to keep track of them is really to make a video about it. So then I have to go through them. I've organized them by franchise because I think that's a little bit easier than, say, by ink color or just as in the order that they're released. So there will probably be an update to this video when all of them are released. But let's get started. So the first one is from the franchise Aladdin. And there have been 2 cards released. So this first one, Aladdin Brave Rescuer, it is a 3 inkable card, is 3/3 quest for 1. He is a Floodborn hero, and he is shiftable because he's Floodborn, but instead of paying ink to shift him, you would discard a location card. This is a little bit different mechanic than has existed in the previous 3 sets. And then he also has Crashing Through. Whenever this character quests, you may banish chosen item. So in regards to the shift mechanic, I don't know that it's going to be used a lot because he only costs 3 ink, right? So if you wanted to shift him off a 1-cost Aladdin, you would just, the earliest you'd be able to do it is on turn 2. And you could play him turn 3, which is the next turn. So it seems like maybe it wouldn't be that useful. Especially because turn 3, I guess maybe if you were on the draw and you were playing a ramp deck, you wanted to, if you wanted to discard their Fishbone Quill, then you could, or get ready to start their Fishbone Quill if you're on the play. It could be useful, but I don't know. Discarding a location card is kind of, like discarding a card, period, is kind of a big deal. That's a lot. So I don't know. The art on this is spectacular. I love the elephant. I love that the elephant's eyes are closed because you can tell he's like putting all of his weight into breaking that pillar. I like his little tassel flying in the wind. Amazing. I was going to say, although it does look like an Asian elephant, I was going to say, are the ears too big? Is it more of an African elephant? Because that would be incorrect unless they imported their elephants in Agrabah. Who knows? Or unless Agrabah is like more in Morocco, then that would make sense. There would be African elephants instead of Asian elephants. Anyways, next card is Raja, Royal Protector. So this is a 4 inkable card with 3/4 stat line, quest for 2. It's a Storyborn ally. So this is Jasmine's pet, who initially does not like Aladdin and is like very protective of Jasmine. And he has the ability Steady Gaze. When you have no cards in your hands, characters with cost 4 or less can't challenge this character. And his flavor test is as regal as his namesake and just as powerful. It's a rare card. I don't think this card will be used very often just because you have to have no cards in your hand. So it's kind of like using Tiana, I suppose. Maybe you could use them both since they're both steel. But I don't think it would be used very often. The art, I think, is good. I like the little characters that are in gray that look scared. You just see like... and whenever I say Raja, I always think of the drag queen Raja, who I actually met in person. I was just walking down the street in Honolulu when I was on vacation with my aunt. And then I saw a very tall person walking down the street. And I was like, oh, wow, that person has such a cool walk. It looks like maybe that person is very fabulous. And then they walked into Vivienne Westwood. And I was like, is that Raja? I know Raja likes Vivienne Westwood. And I followed them into the store like a creep. And turns out it was Raja. And I got a picture with her. It was so cool. Like my only celebrity sighting in the real world. All right, next is Beauty and the Beast. So far, just 2 cards for this. One is Mystical Rose, which is an item, 2 inkable. It has Dispel the Entanglement. So banish this item. Chosen character named Beast gets +2 lore this turn. If you have a character named Belle in play, move up to 3 damage counters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. It says ink surrounded Belle's last hope to heal the beast. With no other choice, she reached out for it. So Interesting. So you would probably play this item and just keep it on the board until you got a beast on board, and then you could use it to get 2 lore. And then if you had Bell, you can move 3 damage count. I don't know if this is super useful at all, but we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of like very situational. You would have to play a deck with both Bell and Beast in it. So maybe Sapphire Steel. Okay, next is the Mob Song. It is a 10 cost, not inkable card, action song. So sing together. So this is a new mechanic where when you play multiplayer, you can have you and your teammates like together sing the song for free. Otherwise, you're paying 10 ink, which is very hefty. So deal 3 damage to up to 3 chosen characters or 3 locations. So it's cool that it damages both characters and locations. But it does seem like it's a big cost. And still TBD on how like Ursula Deceiver of All, because she can sing songs twice, if she would count as like 6 ink in terms of the cost for this, or if she's involved, you would be able to sing it twice and get 3 damage on 6 characters. What if like all Ursula sing it? I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. Next in Cinderella. So in Cinderella, just one card is Jacques, Connoisseur of Climbing. So it's one of her mice that helps her sew. And he has Sneaky. He's a Storyborn ally, 3 cost, inkable, 1/4. Quest for 2 lore, Sneaky Idea. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. They can't quest and must challenge if able. I believe John Silver has this ability in first chapter Emerald as well, and he's a 5/5. And I know that off the top of my head because someone played it against me this morning, and I was like, what is this character? I would say he's pretty weak, but he quests for 2, so that's pretty good. The art is super cute. I like his little tongue sticking out. At first, I thought he was holding a thread, but I think that's actually his tail. Like, I thought the black thing was like a hair stuck on him, but that's his tail. And the pink thing he's holding is probably a thread. All right, so that's it for Cinderella. And then next I have what I'm calling classic Disney. So like the original characters. So there's Daisy Duck, Lovely Lady. She is a 1 cost, inkable, 1/3, quest for 1 lore. It has a little poem about her. Sweet Daisy, the fairest duck I ever met. Each flaxen lock, a rush of flowing gold. Her bill, the color of summer sunset. Exquisite plumes, a wonder to behold. It's cute, probably written by Donald. She's like Olaf, the mini of Amber, I guess. We'll see. The other classic Disney card is this Goofy, Super Goof. In his superhero outfit, he is a 4 cost, inkable card, 2/4. He has Rush, so he can challenge the turn he's played, and he has super peanut powers. Whenever this character challenges another character, gain 2 lore. So that's cool. I feel like that's a pretty good card because then you can challenge and gain lore. So kind of like Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, can do that right now. But he has to actually banish the character. Goofy just has to challenge. I could see this card being used. Okay, next one is Encanto. So there's a bunch of Encanto cards. I watch Encanto, I would say probably once a week. And when Encanto first came out, I am the oldest, and so Luisa's song was just like, it hit so hard. I used to not be able to listen to Luisa's song without crying. It's just, I was like, I feel the pressure. Yeah, I mean, I know that Isabella is technically the oldest, but I feel like Luisa, the pressure she feels is the pressure that a lot of oldest children feel. All right. So I also like her song because it's an alto range, and I am an alto. All right, so in the deck, we've got Felix Madrigal, fun-loving family man. He is a 3 cost inkable card, 2/4, quest for 2, vanilla card. He says, who needs a gift when you're having this much fun? So he is one of the tios or uncles that married into the family. He is married to Peppa Madrigal and is the father to Dolores and Camilo, and one more, Antonio. I was like, what is his name? Yeah. And so he's portrayed as like super fun loving and hilarious and will do anything basically for his wife. Okay, so that is Felix. Let's talk about next Peppa, his wife. So she is an amethyst card, 5 cost, not inkable, 1/5, quest for 1. Peppa Madrigal, weather maker. So in the movie, her power is that she can control the weather. So it says, it looks like rain. When you play this character, you may exert chosen opposing character. That character can't ready at the start of next turn unless they're at a location. So kind of like, I guess, Elsa with her freeze power, but I don't know. Yeah, so that is Peppa. And then let's do her kids. So there is Camilo Madrigal, Prankster. He is a 4 cost inkable card, 2/5, and quest for 1. Storyborn ally Madrigal. He has many forms. So in the movie, he can change into many. He can change into any person. And if you see the shadow here, he's changed into Dolores, which he does in the movie to try to get seconds at breakfast. And then I'm assuming that Hood is Bruno, who he changes into in the song. We don't talk about Bruno. And then it looks like a little tiny person there, maybe Mirabelle as a kid, maybe Antonio. And it says many forms. At the start of your turn, you may choose 1. This character gets 1+ lore this turn, or this character gains Challenger +2. So pretty versatile character, I would say. Next card, let's do Dolores. So Dolores is also one of Felix and Peppa's kids. She has super hearing. So she is a 4 cost inkable card, 3/3. Dolores Madrigal, easy listener, quest for 2. Magical informant. When you play this character, if an opponent has an exerted character in play, you may draw a card. So this is kind of cool. So let's say you're playing, I'm just imagining, like, let's say you're playing a super hyper aggro deck, and they have a super wide board, so like 5 characters that are all exerted. You play this, you get 5 cards. So I can see her being very cool. You could also probably combo her with like Elsa, and where you exert them and then you use her to get cards from that. So even if your opponent chooses not to exert, you can still exert them. So I haven't seen a card for Antonio yet, which is the smallest cousin. But his power is speaking to animals, so we'll see. And then next we have, let's do Julieta. So Julieta is Mirabelle, the main character, Mirabelle's mom. Julieta Madrigal, excellent cook. She is a 3 cost inkable card, 1/4, quest for 1. In the movie, her power is that she can heal everybody with her Arepas, which she is holding here, and she's in the kitchen. Her signature recipe is her special ability. When you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. If you remove damage this way, you may draw a card. So kind of like the Rapunzel card, except that you only get 1 card even if you remove 2 damage. And I believe that Rapunzel heals up to 3 damage. And her husband, I haven't seen a card for. He doesn't have any powers. He just gets stung by bees a lot, and I feel like that's helpful that he's married to the Madrigal that can heal, because he seems to always be injured. Okay, so Julieta's kids are Mirabelle, Isabella, and Luisa. So Mirabelle's card is a 5 cost, not inkable, 3/5, quest for 2. She is a Dreamborn hero Madrigal, gift of the family. She is a support character, so whenever this character quests, you may add their strength to another chosen character's strength this turn. And her special power is saving the miracle. Whenever this character quests, your other Madrigal characters get +1 lore this turn. So that's kind of cool. I feel like she is one you would want to kill, because otherwise, if they have a bunch of Madrigals, they're all questing for 1 additional lore. It's going to be real fast. They're going to get to 20. And then she has 2 sisters, Isabella. Let's do her first. So Isabella's the golden child. She's perfect in every way. She can make flowers bloom. And then throughout the story, it turns out she can also make other plants bloom. So her card, 5 cost inkable, 3/4, quest for 1. She is a Storyborn. She is evasive, and she has 2 special powers. So the first one is ladies first. During your turn, if no other character has quested this turn, this character gets 3+ lore. And then leave it to me. Whenever this character quests, your other characters can't quest for the rest of this turn. So I guess you have to either decide if it's more beneficial for all your characters to quest, and she does not get the 3 extra lore. So if your other characters can quest more than 3 lore, you would want all your other characters to quest, and she would just quest for 1. Or if you want your other characters to challenge, or you don't have that many other characters, then you would want her to quest for 4 lore total, and then they can do others. And then next is Luisa, my favorite character. Luisa Madrigal, she is the strong one. She carries donkeys. She can lift buildings, and her song Surface Pressure is amazing. There's also a version, if you look online, by the singer who voices Luisa. She does like this jazz version of Surface Pressure that sounds really cool. All right, so this first Luisa card, Luisa Madrigal, Magically Strong 1, is a 4-cost, not inkable, 4/3, and it has rush. It quests for 1. So kind of like a fox, but doesn't bounce and is not inkable. So not a great card. I was actually pretty disappointed because they announced this card, I think, during the lore cast, and I was like, oh, Luisa's so cool. Why they give her such a boo card? It's not even that good. All right, so she does have another card that's been released. It is Luisa Madrigal, Rock of the Family. It has one of her donkeys in the back looking very frightened. It is a 3-cost, not inkable, or 3-cost inkable card. 2/4, quest for 1, and it says, I'm the strong one. While you have another character in play, this character gets 2 strength. I was like, 2 sun star thingies. There's no way Ursula's creatures are getting to that donkey. So she becomes basically a 4/4 if there's other characters in play. So kind of like how, I guess, Pascal becomes evasive. If she has other people there as moral support, she is stronger. I guess because she's saving her family. That makes sense. And so that is it for Luisa. And then we have, last but not least, Bruno of We Don't Talk About Bruno. So Bruno Madrigal, 5-cost, not inkable, 4/5, quest for 1, Out of the Shadows. His special abilities, it was your vision. When you play this character, chosen character gains, when this character is banished in challenge, you may return this card to your hand. So it makes, you can choose a character to make it bounceable. Bounce back to your hand, kind of like Hey Hey does that. Purple Hey Hey. So that is it for characters. And then in this Encanto, we also have some songs. So one is We Don't Talk About Bruno. So 5-cost inkable song. Return chosen character to player's hand. Then that player discards a card at random. So kind of like, I guess, a cloud kicker plus a sudden chill, except that the card is chosen at random. So probably better than a sudden chill, because sudden chill, the opponent gets to choose who they want to discard, whereas this, it's more random. So you might be able to discard like their best hand instead of like them choosing their worst card. Another song in Encanto is Look at This Family. It is a 7-cost inkable card, and this is another one that you can sing together with your friends if you're playing multiplayer mode. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 character cards and put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like an aerial for characters, I guess. And then also in this set we have a item, which is Vision Slab. So this is how Bruno's visions are depicted in the movie. So he like has a vision and then it solidifies into this slab, and then Mirabel finds the broken one of her possibly destroying the entire casita. So this item has danger revealed at the start of your turn. If an opposing character has damage, gain 1 lore. That's kind of awesome. And then trapped damage counters can't be removed. So I would assume that applies to both you and your opponent. So they can't do like bestow a gift and move damage counters, or a Maleficent and move damage counters around. Another card, an action card in this, is a 2-ink, not inkable, Bruno's Return. Return a character card from your discard to your hand, then remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. So a pretty good card, probably why it's not inkable. And then last but not least, the location, Casa Madrigal, aka Casita. In some theories, it's like the grandfather, but as a house. And it is a 1 ink cost, inkable card, 1 cost to move anyone there, and 6 strength. And it has Our Home. Start of your turn, if you have a character here, gain 1 lore. So I could definitely see this location dying immediately, because I think it's a little powerful. Although if you play it on turn 1, they probably don't have anything strong enough to kill it. By turn 2, you can play a 1-cost character and move someone there, so that's 1 lore. So kind of not super fast anyways. I think might be better to play just a 1-cost character and then quest. But that is it for the Encanto cards. There were a lot. Next is Fantasia. So there is another broom card. So 2-cost inkable, 2/3, quest for 1, magic broom, aerial cleaner. He's got little wings attached so he can fly. And in this one, he's cleaning the genie's lamp. And then there's like this weird, it's Ursula's shell necklace that's in the orb behind him. And he has winged for a day. During your turn, this character gains evasive, so he can attack characters with evasive. Although he's not super strong, so I don't know if he's that helpful. Then we have Yensid, 2-ink inkable card, 1/3, quest for 1. Powerful sorcerer. Timely intervention is one of his talents. When you play this character, if you have a character named Magic Broom in play, you may draw a card. So if you have a broom deck going, you got all these brooms at your sorcerer's tower or whatever, you could draw a bunch of cards. And then he also has Arcane Study. When you have 2 or more broom characters in play, this character gets an additional 2 lore. And this version of the card they showed at the lore cast, it has the like black tendrils, indicating they're like part of the Ursula's Return co-op game. And the numbers are also after the initial 204 plus the enchanted cards, so 223. And then the next card we will look at is Mickey Mouse, Playful Sorcerer. So 5-cost inkable, and he's a 3/4. He quests for 2. He's shiftable. Floodborn Hero, shift for 3 cost. He also has resist 1, and he also has a power sweep away. So a lot of things going for this Mickey Mouse. When you play this character, deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of broom characters you have in play. So definitely broom deck, Mickey Mouse, Yensid, the whole shebang. So he is 187, and then there's also Ursula version. And if you look at the color difference in the bottom, like one's the usual like ink color fade into tan, and this one's just all the ink colors steel on the bottom. And this one also has those tendrils on the side. Okay, so that is it for Fantasia. Next, we move on to Frozen. Frozen, we got a new Anna character. So there's a 2-cost inkable, 1/4. Quest for 1, Anna, Braving the Storm. She's a Dreamborn hero and queen. So I assume from the second movie, because she's not a queen in the first movie. So I was born ready. If you have another hero character in play, this character gets +1 lore. So there's a bunch of hero characters, so I could see this definitely working. Like, that's not a hard thing to make work. After talking to Olaf, Anna marched into the unexpected storm to save Kristoff, her lover. We also got a new Olaf card. He looks adorable. He's a sled with carrots. It's Olaf Carrot Enthusiast. 3-cost inkable card, 1/4. He's also has this new shift mechanic. As a Floodborn character, it's discard an item card, which you probably have a lot of items if you're playing Sapphire, so might work. And he has power carrots all around. Whenever he quests, each of your other characters gets attack equal to this character's attack this turn. And he quests for 2. So that would probably combo well with like Alice. There's a Sapphire Alice, I think, in Floodborn, where if you play her or if she quests or something, all of the character becomes support, and then you could give all of their attack to him, and then he can just spread it all around to everybody else. So you could have like an army of very powerful little characters that don't cost that much. I could definitely see a deck being built around that. Another card we have is Hans, Noble Scoundrel. He was featured in my Prince ranking video if you want to check that out. He is a 3-cost inkable character, 3/2, quest for 2, so that's a lot. He has Royal Schemes. When you play this character, if a princess or queen character is in play, gain 1 lore. So kind of specific. You'd have to be playing somebody who has princesses or queens. I guess like Amber Steel, they play queen. Commanding Presence, they play Cinderella. They're all princesses. That would work. I don't think Emerald Steel plays any princess characters. It seems to be like a boys only deck. I'm thinking Ruby Amethyst doesn't really play any queen or princess characters either, but maybe we'll see more once set 4 is out. And his little flavor text is, Hans was confident he could bring Anna to Ursula. Ooh, he's working with Ursula. All he needed was something of Kristoff's to lure her in. Ooh, so that makes me think that the Anna card, when she after talking to Olaf, he's probably like, Kristoff is in there. And it's really just Hans masquerading. The art is pretty cool. I like that there's a picture of sweet little Anna behind him. It's probably because he's staying at their house still. I don't know. I feel like they kicked him out after the first movie, so who knows. And the other last card in Frozen is this song called Lost in the Woods. And it is 4 cost inkable. All opposing characters get -2 strength until the start of your next turn. And its flavor text is, I'm left behind, wondering if I should follow. So I think this is from the second Frozen movie, which I have not seen yet, but I will. And it's kind of like a Kida in a song, and weaker. So moving on, Hercules, one of my absolute favorite movies. In this deck, we got Hercules, Clumsy Kid, 3 cost, not inkable, 3/3 character, quest for 1 lore, and has Rush. And so this is from the very beginning of the movie when his dad goes into town to try to trade his hay, and they're having a discus competition, and Hercules was like, hey, do you have an extra guy? And they're like, no, we want even numbers, and we already have 5. Which is not an even number. And then he catches the discus, but also runs into the pillar, which sets off this like domino effect and basically levels the square. I guess the circle, the town circle. And they say, nice catch, Hercules. I don't see this card being used very much. He is kind of like that Stitch in set 3, the has Rush and is 3/1, so same attack power, but I think that one's only 2, also non-inkable. Okay, next in Hercules we have Pegasus, gift for Hercules. He is a 1 cost inkable card, 1/1. He's super cute. He quests for 1. He's evasive. His flavor text is his name is Pegasus and he's all yours from Zeus. So he is gifted to Hercules from Zeus when he's born. Zeus makes him out of clouds. He's like Nimbus, little Nimbus stratus, blah, blah, blah. And he makes Pegasus. And then they greet each other by bonking each other on the head with like headbutting. And then later when Hercules is trying to become a hero, his dad gives Pegasus back to him to help him on his hero journey. And he's like, who is this? And then they bonk heads and he's like, oh, Pegasus. Yeah, you're my best friend. And then they go off to find Phil. And then a card I've been waiting for, the Muses, Proclaimers of Heroes. It's a 4 cost inkable card, 2/4. It has Ward, and it has the Gospel Truth. Whenever you play a song, you may return chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. So kind of like a cloud kicker whenever you play a song. And it quests for 1. I thought that the Muses were going to be like Singer, which is going to be their ability. So because they're singers, but this works too. I don't know if this card is super useful though, but I do love that the Muses are being included. So that is it for Hercules. Next we have Lilo and Stitch. There's only one card. It's called Record Player. It is an item, 2 cost inkable. It has look at this. Whenever you play a song, chosen character gets -2 until the start of your next turn. Or Hit Parade. Your character's name Stitch count as having +1 cost to sing songs. So, I mean, you could have Stitch New Dog, which is a 1 cost character, sing Bare Necessities, I guess, with this. Or Stitch Rockstar could sing Be Prepared. I'm not sure I see a lot of utility for that part. But whenever you play a song, chosen character gets -2 until the start of your next turn. And I think that would be useful because there's a lot of, if you can decrease the strength of a character and then combine it with something else to like bounce them, that could be helpful. Disrupt the tempo. All right, next is Mulan. Dear to my heart. So the first Mulan card that was revealed during the lore cast is this Mulan Elite Archer, 6 cost inkable, 2/6, quest for 2, and she shifts for 5. She has straight shooter. When you play this character, if you use shift to play her, she gets +3 strength and triple shot. During your turn, whenever this character deals damage to another character in a challenge, deal the same amount of damage to up to 2 other chosen characters. She is a Floodborn hero and princess legendary card. And remember when this card came out, we were like, oh, but there's no good shift targets, because I think the cheapest Mulan at that point was a 4 cost Mulan. But since then, we've had this new Mulan, Enemy of Entanglement. She's only 2 cost, inkable, 1/3. Storyborn Hero Princess, time to shine. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +2 attack this turn, and she quests for 1. And it says, Ursula's messengers fled, leaving behind tendrils of dark ink, and you can see that she's fighting an ink monster here. So that's pretty exciting. We also got a new Li Shang card, who I love. We currently just have the steel one of him. So this is a 3-cost inkable ruby card, 3/2, quest for 1. He's a Floodborn hero, valorous general. He also has a new shift mechanic. You can discard a character card to play him on top of another character named Li Shang. So the only existing one is in steel, who I think is also 3 or 4 cost. So might as well just cast him. And he has the power to lead the charge. Your characters with 4 strength or more get 1 lore. So that could give Maui lore, because Maui right now does not have any lore. And then we have Khan, who is Mulan's horse, beloved steed. He is a vanilla card, 2-cost ink, 3/2, and quest for 1. And his flavor test is as silent as a shadow and faster than the wind, brave Khan, the mightiest stallion. So, I mean, technically, I think he is Mulan's dad's horse that she stole, along with everything else. All right, so Mulan's dad also has a card, Fazo. Correct Chinese pronunciation would probably be Fazo, but whatever. And he is a 2-cost inkable card. This card, I realize, is in Italian. So he has War Wound. This character can't challenge, so like the opposite of Reckless. And Head of the Family, ready chosen character named Mulan. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. And his text is, I am ready to serve the Emperor. So kind of very specific. It would have to be in a Mulan deck. But at least he has a card, right? And then we have Mulan's little cricket, Cricky. He's a lucky cricket. 5-cost inkable card, 3/4. He quests for 3, which is a ton. And he has Spreading Good Fortune. When you play this character, your other characters get +3 strength this turn. That's a ton. And then his text is, everyone feels better just knowing he's around, because he's a lucky cricket that her grandma gives her before the matchmaking. And her grandma proves that he's a lucky cricket by covering her eyes and walking across a busy street, which causes mayhem behind her. I think this card is very good and will be used. And then next we have some of the side characters. So there's Chen Po, 5-cost inkable, 4/7 card, Imperial Soldier, quest for 1. He is a bodyguard. He's super strong. And in the movie, when they sing like A Girl Worth Fighting For, they're all talking about like their dream girl, and he just cares what she cooks like, which I support. Another one of her friends from the army is Ling, Imperial Soldier, 3-cost inkable, 3/3, quest for 1, and he says he has Full of Spirit. Your hero's characters get +1 attack. I don't think he's going to be that useful. And then the last character is Chifu, 3-cost inkable card, 0/5, Imperial Advisor. He is overly cautious. When this character has no damage, he gets +2 lore. So he could be a lore monster. He's a funny character in the movie and is very much like disapproving of Mulan. And he says, you there, keep that fighting away from here. It is imperative that I write to the Emperor. Ooh, maybe the Emperor will get a card. I want the Emperor to get a card. I want the evil Mongolian guy whose name is slipping me. I just call him Genghis Khan in my head to get a card. Maybe his eagle should get a card, I think, also. So that eagle's pretty smart. And maybe his sword. I feel like the Mongolian guy's sword should get a card. And then maybe a fan, because Mulan is able to stop him with a fan. And it could, like, remove strength. Anyways, just some ideas. All right. There's an item called Imperial Proclamation, 1-cost inkable, call to the front. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you pay 1 ink less for the next character you play this turn. So it's kind of like asking for help, I guess, in your challenge. By the order of the Emperor, 1 man from every family must serve in the Imperial Army. So that's what Chifu says. And Mulan's dad was going to go, but he has a bum leg from the last war. So Mulan goes in his place as Ping. And then we got a location card called The Wall, Border Fortress. 4-cost inkable card, costs 2 to move a character there. It's 8 strength, so pretty strong. Protect the realm. When you have an exerted character here, your other locations can't be challenged. So I guess you would have to play like a Mulan location deck. for this to be useful. Yeah. It'd be cool though, I guess, if you had like multiple walls, like to make the Great Wall. I feel like someone should just do that just because. All right, and next we move on to Peter Pan. There are 3 cards there. So the first one is TikTok, Ever-Present Pursuer. He is a 6-cost inkable card for 7, quest for 1, evasive. He's the, I want to say crocodile that follows Captain Hook. Pause there because I was like, alligator or crocodile? Pretty sure it's crocodile. And the flavor text is, that cursed beast likes the taste of me so well, he's followed me ever since. So he's the one who took Captain Hook's hand, gave him a hook. And then we have a song, second star to the right. This is another one of those singing together songs. And then chosen player draws 5 cards. So really you have to really be teamworky and pick who gets 5 cards, because you're all singing together, unless someone is able to sing 10. I guess if you had multiple characters, like if you had like, say, this is Amethyst. So if you had like 2 rabbits and Cusco, you could sing it by yourself and get 5 cards. All right, next is Pirate's Life. Sing together 6. Each opponent loses 2 lore, you gain 2 lore. So kind of like Aladdin Heroic Outlaw, I suppose. All right, so that is it for Peter Pan. There was 1 card so far from Princess and the Frog, and it is Dig a Little Deeper. Dig a little deeper. 8 cost, not inkable song, another sing together song. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, put 2 in your hand, the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. Seems kind of expensive for that, but okay. There was a new Sisu card, so in Raya. Sisu, Emboldened Warrior, 3 cost inkable, 1/4, quest for 2. That's a lot. Sisu is a storyborn hero, deity, and dragon. So I think there is 1 card specifically that banishes just dragons. So that card has 1 more use. Has the special ability Surge of Power. This character gets +1 attack for each card in opponent's hand. So it could be like you're battling something Amethyst and they draw on a bunch of cards and you're like, haha, now I'm super powerful. Sometimes the only way to fight the unimaginable is with the incredible. Ooh, he could also, Sisu could also potentially somehow take on Chernabog if they had a bunch of cards in their hand that they haven't played. Next is Sleeping Beauty. So there were 2 cards. One is Diablo, so Maleficent's familiar. Devoted Herald, 3 cost, not inkable, 2/2. It's a Floodborn card. Quest for 1. The shift mechanic here is discard an action card. And it's evasive. And then circle far and wide. During each opponent's turn, whenever they draw a card while this character is exerted, you may also draw a card. This thing is going to die. I feel like there's no way this is going to survive like more than 1 turn. People will deal with evasives and this will die. Maybe in the beginning when the set is first released, I don't know, but people have ways to deal with evasives now for making Minnie Mouse Surfer, so I feel like it's not gonna pan out. All right. And then there's also a song, Seldom All They Seem, 2 cost inkable. Chosen character gets -3 strength this turn. I feel like it's kind of a meh song, but who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Next is Tangled. So there was a card released, I think, at the Lorecast, which was Rapunzel, Appreciative Artist, 5 cost inkable. It is a 3/5 quest for 3. She's a Dreamborn hero princess, and she has Perceptive Partner. While you have a character named Pascal in play, this character gains Ward. So I guess the 2 of them together, Rapunzel would have Ward, Pascal would have Evasive. And there's only 1 Pascal card so far that I know of, unless they're going to come out with more. So you would have to play Sapphire Amethyst for that combo to work out right now. They also released 2 other character cards. One is Tor. He's a florist. 5 cost inkable, 4/7 quest for 1. And then there is Gunther, Interior Designer, 4 cost inkable, 3/3, quest for 2. He also has Side-Eye Puppy. When this character is challenged and banished, each opponent chooses one of their characters and returns that card to their hand. And they are mentioned in the song At the Snuggly Duckling. It's like, Tor would like to be a florist. Gunther's into interior design. Yeah. And then speaking of Snuggly Duckling, that is a new location. 2 cost Inkable, cost 2 to move a character there, and it is 9 strength, so as strong as Mixed Duck Manor, which is the strongest location we have right now. Disreputable pub, the Snuggly Duckling. So in the movie, Flynn is like, hey, are you hungry? I know this great place. It's called the Snuggly Duckling. And Rapunzel's like, I love ducklings. And then turns out it's full of ruffians and thugs. So it has routine ruckus. Whenever a character with 3 strength or more challenges another character while here, gain 1 lore. If the challenging character has 6 strength or more, gain 3 lore instead. So I could see you put Maui here and you have him challenge. And then finally Maui can get you lore. And then in this, there was also an action called Brawl, 3 cost Inkable, banish chosen character with 2 strength or less. I feel like this would be useful to banish like Hiram or something like that. All right, and next we have the Lion King. There is 1 card, Be King Undisputed. 4 cost, not inkable. Each opponent chooses and banishes 1 of their characters. So kind of like a Lady Tremaine for all. And only at 4 costs, so you could play earlier than Tremaine. I feel like this changes the game a lot, especially for some of the closer to the ground hyper aggro decks. You're like, oh, I just have to do all this stuff before I can get Tremaine or Medusa or Be Prepared. And now at turn 4, you're going to get hit. All right, and then last but not least, we have Little Mermaid, who has a ton of cards, which makes sense because it's Ursula's return is set 4. So we have the card that they revealed at the Lorecast, Ariel, Sonic Warrior, 6 cost Inkable, 3/8, quest for 2, Floodborn, shifts 4, and she has amplified voice. Whenever you play a song, you may pay 2 ink to deal 3 damage to chosen character. The art on this is incredible. I like her staff that's like a shell, and I think maybe that's her ink caster for staying within, Lorcana lore stuff. And her outfit kind of reminds me of the Ariel outfit, like in the princess stuff where she's getting married. She wears like this white and green dress, kind of reminds me of that. I think this card should be in Enchanted. It would be really cool. So I can definitely see this in an Amber Steel deck. Let's say you're singing with the other, like 3 cost Amber Ariel, and then you can pay additional 2 and just do damage in addition to that singing 1. Her singing. There was also a new singer that was released. So Ariel singing Mermaid, 4 cost Inkable, 3/3, quest for 2. She's a singer 7. So currently the only song that is 7 is Be Prepared. So she could sing and kill herself. Kind of depressing. Maybe they'll release better songs, or she could be used in one of those sing together songs, I suppose. And this is her in her iconic part of your world climax pose. And that sounded odd. There is a Little Mermaid in Copenhagen, Denmark. If you ever go visit there, it's like a little statue. Very, very underwhelming. It's like a tiny statue. Would not recommend spending time on that. I did go see it, but from the back because we were on some like boat tour thing. Anyways, next there is Ursula, Eric's Bride, 4 cost not inkable, 2/4. She has the new shift tactic, which is discard a song. She is also a Floodborn, a villain, a princess, and a sorcerer. So I feel like she could fit into many decks that utilize those things. And her name when she's a human is Vanessa. So Vanessa's design. When this character quests, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. So she can basically do bare necessities, which is kind of cool. Next card, let's do a character. We have Flounder. Flounder has gotten a glow up, and he actually looks like he's from Shark Tale, that movie. He is a 3 cost inkable card, 2/2. He's a collector's companion. He has support, and he has I'm Not a Guppy. If you have a character named Ariel in play, you pay 1 ink less to play this character, and he quests for 2. So he quests for 2, so that's pretty cool, but the next card is a Flotsam and Jetsam card, Entangling Eels. It is a 6 ink inkable, 5/5, and it also has this new shift mechanic. You can discard 2 cards to shift it on either a Flotsam or a Jetsam, and it quests for 2. So it's kind of cool that you can shift it onto both eels. kind of expensive. And I currently have like an Ursula deck that I play, and there's not, I guess there could be more draw power. I probably have to add that. And then you could discard 2 cards and that'd be fine. Because most of the pretty much all of the Ursula theme things are either emerald or amethyst. And so you could always have Ursula, Deceiver of All, which is emerald, sing Friends on the Other Side, which is amethyst twice, and then you get 4 cards, and then discarding 2 cards might not be as bad. So I could see that working out. Otherwise, 2 cards is very expensive. Next, there's Ursula, Sea Queen Witch. So 7 cost inkable for 7, quest for 3. She is a shift character, so shift 5, and she has Now I'm the Ruler. Whenever this character quests, exert chosen character, and then she has You'll Listen to Me. Other characters can't exert sing song, so real good against Amber Steel song decks. In terms of items, we have Triton's Trident, 2 cost inkable item, symbol of power. Banish this item and chosen character gets +1 attack this turn for each card in your hand. So obviously you got to have cards. Hopefully you didn't just discard 2 to play Flotsam Jetsam. Another item we have is Signed Contract, 2 inkable, fine print. Whenever an opponent plays a song, you may draw a card. Also seems very anti-song decks. That makes sense because Ariel's a singer, so there would be a lot of anti-song things. And next there's a song, Treasures Untold, 6 cost inkable in Sapphire. Return up to 2 item cards from your discard into your hand, which makes sense in Sapphire because they have so many items in that deck. And Ariel's holding what kind of looks like Jafar's staff. It's definitely not the same staff thing she had in her Ursula Sonic Warrior picture, so not sure. It's definitely not a trident, so who knows what that is. All right, and then there were 2 locations. So there was Ursula's Garden, Full of the Unfortunate, 4 cost inkable card, cost 2 to move anyone there, and 7 strength, and has Abandon Hope. While you have an exerted character here, opposing characters get -1 lore, so that's pretty good. I like that. Very in line with Emeralds. And the other one is Ursula's Lair, 3 cost non-inkable, cost 2 to move there, 6 strength, so not super strong. Slippery Halls. Whenever a character is banished in a challenge while here, you may return them to your hand and see if power characters named Ursula get +1 lore while here. So I would say you would probably play your Ursulas first, and then you would play this the next turn, move all your Ursulas there, then quest, because this is probably going to die pretty fast. And then I missed a song card, so there's Under the Sea in Emerald, 8 cost, not inkable, Sing Together. So another one of those you can sing with all your friends cards. Put all opposing players with 2 strength or less on the bottom of the player's deck in any order. And then there's so many cards in Little Mermaid. There is which makes sense, it's called Ursula's Return. There is Sign the Scroll, which is an action, 3 cost, not inkable card. Each opponent may choose and discard a card. For each opponent who doesn't, you gain 2 lore. So I guess they can choose not to discard a card, but then you gain 2 lore. So it's like, what do you want to do? You want to lose your cards, or you want me to just sneak right up on ahead with my lore that you just gave me? So that is it for all the cards that have been released thus far. When there is more, I will be doing an update, and this will probably be like a playlist. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Certainly made me look at all the cards, and I feel like I've actually caught up, although I'm sure they're going to release a bunch more this weekend. And as always, check out our TCG store. We have way more cards listed now since we've been moving up in the seller levels, and we can list more cards. I'm looking right now, we have over 800 cards listed, so check it out. We have, please buy the cards because I'm running out of storage space. As always, keep shuffling, and hopefully you don't end up with a handful of all non-inkables like me. All right, bye.